Hey guys, all the products you see in this video can be found in the description down below. Today we have Codenames. I'll tell you my favorite thing about this in just a second, but first some things you need to know. So first of all guys, this game is a very fun game. I'm going to tell you how to play as well, but first I want to tell you what you really want to know and why you're really watching this video. And that's because you want to know if this game is actually fun, if it's something you're actually going to play, and if it's actually worth getting, and you're not going to just get it, put it in your closet, and never see it again, right? That's happened plenty of times to me, and that is not what we want. I can tell you firsthand, this game is a game that is fun continuously. You're going to play it anytime you want a clever strategy game that isn't a super hard strategy game, yet it is a fun game that kind of makes your brain think and have to compete with others. It's a very engaging game, and it just makes the whole group have to think together and play as a team, and it's just really fun that way. So I would say that so if you're worried about getting this and that you think you're just going to put it in your closet after one time, that's not going to happen. As far as gameplay on this game goes, guys, as far as the gameplay goes, it's very simple. Basically, there's two different teams. Depending on who goes first, has to play the extra card. So if you go first, you have to get 9 right. If you go second, you have to get 8 right. Then there's a neutral card, and then there is a lose card, basically. Okay, so how it works is on your turn, you're going to pick one player from each team, and they're going to get this little box that no one else can see, okay? And this box is going to line up with the cards on the table. So, for example, this would be a blue, this would be a red, this would be a blue, this would be a neutral, this one would be a red, this one would be a lose card. So basically, for example, let's just say that you decide to go first, and this is a red card, so you go first. Basically, what this means is you're going to go. You can tell who goes first by the color of the card up here. So if you were red, you would want to give clues to get your players to guess, to get your team to guess what cards were yours without hitting the lose card. Okay, so for example, you wouldn't want to say fishing because someone might say, oh, fishing pole, but they might also say cast. So you might lose if you say fishing for a clue, okay? You can only give one word as a clue, and then your team gets to discuss among themselves, and then if they touch a card, it's final, and then they get to choose. So you might say something like, so if you had war and knight, you might say something like king or soldier or something like that, or fighting. You don't want to give clues to other players' stuff, so you want to be careful to make sure that you're not going to give a clue that's going to give a blue team a point. But for example, if your team discussed it and they thought, oh, it's war, not only does it have to be one word, but you have to give them how many options they have. They can guess one more than the options they get. So for example, if you said fight 2 for knight and war, then they could guess a third one if they wanted to. Let's just say that they do get war right. And they touch it, you put a card on there. Let's just say for some reason they guessed band, and it was wrong, and it was just that one, you'd put that card on there. If they guessed one of the other teams and they guessed tie, then the other team would get a point, and then it would be their turn. If your team guesses one wrong, at that point it becomes the other team's turn, and they get to take over and give their clue and take their turn. The team that covers their answers first wins the game. Because this game's really fun because you have to be strategic. It's easy to say, okay, well, pumpkin, Halloween 1. The problem is, yeah, of course they're going to guess pumpkin and get that one right. If it's your very last turn, it's a great strategy because if you only need that one card, yeah, great, Halloween for pumpkin, obviously they're going to get it right? But let's just say that orange was your card and pumpkin was also your card. In the beginning of the game, you kind of need to take some risks because you want to get ahead of the other team. So for example, if there are 3 or 4 different cards that have something in common and you think your team can guess the right cards from your clue, you might want to go for it. You also want to be careful because you want to be specific enough that they have at least some idea of what you're talking about, and so that they don't guess the lose card. Anyway, guys, it's just a really fun game to see who gets their cards covered first and wins. My favorite thing about this, guys, is the fact that it is a party game, while at the same time it is a little bit of a strategic game that you do have to think a little bit about. But it's just a fun game overall, and everyone's kind of laughing, trying to figure out why would you ever have thought that was the right clue, and it's just a fun game to get together, and it's fun to put different people in the spot of the clue giver, because then you get to see different personalities. Sometimes if you really know someone really well and they give you like a really hard clue and they say like, I don't know, stick 4, you go, oh, okay, I know what you're talking about because you know the person. You've been through an experience with them. Maybe that's an inside joke or something, and you can kind of get them because you understand them. And it's just kind of fun that way because if you know the people you're playing with, it becomes a lot funner as well. I just really like this game, guys, and I just highly recommend this product. Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. I appreciate it a ton. Have a good day, guys.